Hello and welcome to episode 46 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. You have myself, Stretch, my very good friend JimJam, and my very good friend Tin Ribs, who is off camera as usual. How are we, gentlemen?
Good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. That's what we like. We like the sound of that. We like the sound of that. JimJam, do we have a JimJam the Statman stat this week?
Yes, we do.
Wonderful.
And it's only fitting to be that a team has won their
knew it was gonna be
first
that.
ever competitive game. San Marino, well done.
1-0
It's
against
taken
Liechtenstein.
20 years to beat Liechtenstein again, which they beat in a friendly, but this was the first ever competitive win.
It was. For those that don't know, it is the longest non-winning streak in football history at 140 matches.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insanity. And their quickest goal, for anyone that does want to know, is 7 seconds, and it was against England in the 90s. Because we were great.
But Argentina are World Cup winners, are World Champions that lost to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia beat Liechtenstein beat Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And San Marino beat Liechtenstein.
So by proxy, San Marino have beaten Argentina.
Yeah.
They're going up in the world, aren't they?
Yeah, they're world champions.
That's not bad. They've done well in the last 48 hours to have beaten Argentina in a game. I tell you that. I think that would be a fantastic place to play the music. Just a quick break in play to let you guys know, if you head over to dubby.gg, it is energy drinks that they sell over there, and if you use our code, everything apart from the cans is
20% off. 20%. So that's 20% off. Enter the code Sunday, SUNDAY. At
checkout, as soon as you get to checkout, you've decided what you want. SUNDAY Sunday in the code, and you will save 20% on your entire order. Thank you very much. Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us to episode 46 of the Sunday League Pundit Show. We have such a good week this week because we are on international break, which is about the most boring part of football. Now, we've had 3 games in the Premier League, and we have had 4 games in the Championship, and we are already heading into Nations League.
Yeah.
How dull.
Wait, there was football this week?
There
was football this week?
Yeah, well, of sorts. Right, so what I'm going to do, because I have to, because you were the only one that was excited about it, I'm going to ask you about Lee Carsley, team selection, tactics, setup, game, and how you think it all went. So the floor is yours, JimJam.
So I was looking forward to the fact that it was a new team, and when he did his first selection, I was like, okay, he's picked some new players in there, which is good, and then players did make their debuts for England. I wasn't so thrilled with Kane still being around. I thought time's up for him. Unfortunately, he didn't do a lot in the game at all for anything there, because I think international football is more a young man's game, especially on the attacking side of things. Okay. If you're playing at the back or in goal, then experience is key, but you want your youth up front being powerful. Now, I'm not saying Kane isn't a good striker, because he still is a good striker. Clearly, but not at international level. We've got better options for me.
I have to say I agree with you. Completely. I agree with you.
But Carsley lost me when he refused to sing the national anthem. So we might as well have a foreign manager.
Yeah, I mean...
And I don't like that. I think all the players should sing it, really. Because
he was another one that started Irish, though, wasn't he, Lee Carsley?
Yeah.
The same way Grealish and Rice. Now, I would like to interject at this point and say that the reason Rice didn't celebrate against Ireland is nothing to do with his respect for Ireland, because, as he's put it, if he was that respectful, he wouldn't have left and played for England.
Yeah.
But both his grandparents were Irish.
Yeah.
So it was for them and not for football, which I can get behind, because obviously we go and watch Macclesfield because of my grandparents. Yeah. So I can totally get behind
that's
wanted to
fair.
respect
Absolutely.
your grandparents. It was nothing to do with the fans. It was nothing to do with Ireland as a country. It's just his grandparents. Do you know what? I can get behind that because I do the same
Yeah.
thing myself. You sit in a shed that's got Macclesfield all
Yeah.
over it every week because of mine. So I can get behind that. I
Yeah.
did think it was a bit weird initially. I thought you've chosen to leave Ireland and come over to England, so it's a bit weird to me that you're not celebrating. And then when I heard it afterwards, I thought, it kind of makes sense then. Really.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that. I can get behind that. So I wasn't too bothered afterwards. I did think it was strange to begin with, though.
Yeah.
And Jack Grealish just scored, and he just didn't care. He went for it, and I think if you score a goal for England,
Fair enough.
You know what?
It was
I
a
like?
good goal as well. It was a good build up.
Yeah,
The
goal
passing
in
was
itself, I was
going.
gonna say the actual finish.
The finish
all
was
right. It
good.
decent,
He made it
but
unsavable.
with all the passing, one touch play
passing.
all the way up. It was a superb goal. To be
I'm
fair.
just going to say I find it hilarious, and I really enjoyed this. That before the match, you had all those banners like the snakes are back and everything, and it just happened to be those two
both
that
scored the goal.
I just.
There's
Brilliant.
a slight sense of beautiful irony in there.
Yeah.
I really like that.
100%. There's an actual video of one of the Irish fans from in the crowd, and they're filming Grealish's goal, and it's just most of it is beep 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 all the way through, but beep beep, and then all you hear is them two beep beep beep. Had to be them beep two. And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. That's exactly why. As soon as Grealish scored, I went, had to be them guys that scored the two goals.
Absolutely.
Which, to be fair, Grealish should have been there for the first one. Rice ran past Grealish to get to where he was to score the first. And then there's people going, well, Grealish shouldn't be a number 10. I couldn't agree more. Gordon, I thought, was pretty useless.
Yeah, he didn't
I don't
really
think he
do
did
a lot.
right. I think had Grealish played on the left, okay, they're not available, and I get that. But for me, Bellingham, Palmer, Maddison, any of them three could play 10 for me.
Yeah.
And they'd all be better than Grealish at 10. Because Grealish, for me, is better coming in off the left.
You'd have thought.
And Gordon wasn't great, was he?
But Grealish played really well at the 10.
He
in
did
that
play
game.
quite well, but he didn't give us what I think Bellingham would or what Palmer would.
No.
And that
It's interesting that you left out Foden, because Foden's never turned up for England.
He did for
You
half
realise,
the game
like,
in the
in the final, he was absolutely outstanding, right?
I thought it was the semis. He was really good. He had one game. I remember he had one game where he was absolutely.
In the final, he actually got played at 10 next to Bellingham.
Yeah.
And he ran that show. He made Bellingham look like he wasn't there. Foden was superb. And you're right, I genuinely forgot him.
Normally.
I can't believe I forgot him, but
exactly.
I forgot him.
You forgot him. But I thought Grealish was really...
I thought Grealish
really
did
played well there.
I think Grealish would have given us more off the left than Gordon did. That's why I would put Grealish on the left.
The thing is, Foden is injured, so he was never in the running. But
as is Palmer.
The one thing that...
As is Bellingham.
As is Bellingham.
I mean, the one thing for me, and as soon as they announced Carsley, I had no interest. They've, once again, with no ambition...
Underwhelmed.
They've picked... How do I say this in the nicest way? An inexperienced manager who has had he's not excelled at anything. He's took an academy. How many times have we seen these academy managers, right? They step them up and they do nothing. They're always the caretaker while you're changing manager. They're always someone else. The only time they ever become decent is when they step down. For example, Corberan left Leeds to go and better himself, and he went to, was it Huddersfield? And he did a good job. 2 divisions down. He didn't step up. He didn't excel. He went down. All these managers that come from the kids, they go down, and then if they excel, then they come up.
I mean, you've got managers that have worked up and still. Look at John Terry, who was an assistant for ages, and where's he?
Yeah,
but
I don't know why he's doing now.
Look at Wayne Rooney's career. It far exceeded Lee Carsley's, and he's not a great manager. A great player doesn't make a great manager.
No.
But a decent under-21s manager does not necessarily make you a good manager.
No.
So again, they've gone with an underwhelming caretaker or manager, whatever you want to say. And then he comes in, he starts giving his usual bollocks, just like Southgate. I'm going to do things my way, blah, 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 blah. And then he takes a fairly talented side that we know. And then I looked at the team and went, oh, Conser and Stones are on the bench and Maguire's starting. You know what? Fuck off. And that was it. I lost interest. As soon as I saw that lineup, I didn't even bother turning it on.
Yeah, I looked at the lineup and I was hugely disappointed. I was disappointed to see Kane. I was disappointed to see Maguire. I was disappointed, to be fair, to see Pickford because it's basically a friendly.
Yep.
And I was disappointed to see Trent Alexander-Arnold because I just don't think.
That was it. I just looked at the team.
Even though he was one of the best 3 players on the pitch.
You need to change your opinion. You need to watch that game again.
I don't need to watch that game again.
You need to watch that game again. He must have given the ball away about 15 times.
I bet he didn't.
Every cross he put in went straight over everybody and out of play. He made 3, and I've said this to Tin Ribs earlier, he made 3 world-class passes.
Yeah.
One in the first half, which went through and should have been finished by Gordon.
Yeah.
That was a poor finish. World-class finish.
Yeah.
Pass, sorry. And there was 2 world-class passes in the second half. One that went down towards Saka, and one again that went straight forward.
Yeah.
Other than that, he gave the ball away over 5 yards. His crosses all went over the top.
Yeah, his crossing wasn't great.
Everything was shite.
It wasn't. His passing was one of the best on the pitch.
He didn't track back. His passing was shocking. His crossing was shocking. He did 3 good things, and he's being lauded for it. And he got like a 7.8 rating or a 7.6 rating. He was shite.
He was solid at the back.
He was shite.
He did all his defensive work right.
Yeah, he was all right.
Which you've slated him for before.
I don't think he was very good at all.
How many passes did Declan Rice misplace?
Quite a few. I don't think he was outstanding.
Yeah. And
I think
Colwell,
he was okay.
Because you'll look at it and
Colwell,
you don't like.
Actually, for the experience Colwell's got in the England team, I think he did all right.
Yeah, I'm not saying he didn't do all right,
well.
but you go into a game where you will look at Trent and you will look for all the negatives that he does. Because you don't like him. You don't like the fact that he plays for Liverpool.
Okay.
Bit like with Raya and Xhaka.
I was just about to bring this up. I do the same with Raya.
Yeah.
And what have I said this season about Raya?
No, but he's playing well.
Why?
When he does well.
Because he's not making all them mistakes.
Yeah.
So when last season with Raya, I could pick out 10, 15, 20 things a game that he was doing wrong.
Yeah.
Now he's playing well. I haven't got them 15, 10, 5 things that he's doing wrong. I haven't got them. Trent, I've got them 20 things that he did wrong when he played.
I think you've over-exaggerated the way that he played.
Don't. I think he was shocking. Shocking.
You're the only person that has
slated because I'm the only
person
person that's actually looking, are you any good? Are you going to pass? Are you going to do this? So I count when he does something wrong. I'm like, okay, there's one missed pass.
There you go. You're looking for negatives.
Yeah, of course I am. But I was with Raya. And do you know what? Raya's now looked me in the face and gone, find him now. I can't find fault with Raya this season. 3 games in and I can't find any fault with Raya at all. And we've even conceded goals. And I've looked at Tin and gone, I just can't blame him for the goal that he's let in. I can't blame him for any part of it. It's not his fault. Whereas Trent, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Cross was shocking. Another cross was shocking. Fucking hell, he's not tracking back. He's not tracking back again. Another pass that's gone out of play. Another cross that's gone out of play. So many things that I caught with Trent. So if he was that good, I wouldn't have been able to find all them things wrong. I'd have had to have sit here and gone, he had a great game. And I'm really annoyed about it.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He was shocking. He was terrible.
But the only person that says that, because every single one is saying that he's played a solid game.
I've seen, again, I haven't watched the match, so I can't comment from my perspective. I've seen loads on Facebook and stuff of people saying, what is the fucking point in having him on the pitch?
He needs to improve his crossing.
I'm not going to sit. I'm an Arsenal.
Hang on, whoa. Needs to improve his crossing. This is the guy who's supposed to be the best passer of the ball since David Beckham.
Oh, yeah.
The best crosser, the best set-piece taker. How is he supposed to improve his passing?
He was awful. I'm sorry.
That comment's just... No, sorry, JimJam, that comment.
I want to sit here.
I don't want to defend him. But I feel that you're being overly critical of him.
I don't understand why you are defending him, I'll be honest. I want to sit here and say to you, Declan Rice is world class. He really wasn't. He was right. He had a decent game. But there was a lot of errors in there as well. And I don't want to sit here and say that about Declan Rice. But there was a lot of errors. You know. And yes, he scored and it was a decent finish. And he ran past Grealish, which I think is... I would look at myself... If somebody ran past me on a football pitch to score a goal, I would look at myself and wonder why. Because I'm meant to be the one up there. Anyway, that's by the by. I think Grealish had a decent game. I think Gordon... If I'm honest, I think he tried too hard. I
think the problem was that the opposition... I do love Ireland. I mean, I go over to Ireland as a thing, so I don't want to say it, but the team in general, it's poor. I don't think they'd even get promoted from a championship.
I'm not sure they'd ever get to the Championship, to be honest.
They would.
Yeah.
I mean, Keller's a good...
No.
Yeah, he's good. Never Ferguson.
And they got
and,
Schmeichel.
and Seamus
No, they've got a
Coleman,
good
he's
team.
a good...
They've got a good team. It's decent. That'd get promoted. Championship, definitely.
I don't know.
I'm
I'm not sure.
not sure.
Yeah.
I'm with you on this one.
Yeah.
Too. I'm genuinely.
I look at
think
it in
they're
general
pretty
and I
poor.
go...
I think they're pretty poor. And I don't think they offered anything against England at any point. And they still nearly had us in the second half. Because we Southgated it up in the second half. Oh, we're ahead now. We'll just sit and do nothing. And do you know when the subs were made? Any ideas?
Like 76th minute, I think it
76th
was.
minute. About the time Southgate would have done it. We saw there was an issue after about 48 minutes, 49 minutes. We're like, okay, there's a good 3 players here that need changing at least.
Yeah.
Left it. We're like, okay, now there's 4 players that need changing. Left it. Oh, fucking hell, the whole team's just given up now.
Yeah.
I'll make the changes now. Oh, that's just Southgate. You're another Southgate in a different outfit. That's all it is. This is going to be boring. If they keep him on...
Yeah, I
it's
don't
gonna
want
be
him to
boring.
stay, so he's gone in my opinion.
It's going to be terrible.
Now you see, now Maguire. Do I think he should be there? No, but then I look back and I
He had a
go...
bad game, though.
He didn't have a bad game.
I think he was
and
one
when
of the
does
few
he?
that actually did
And
really
when
well.
does he have a bad game for England?
I mean,
he doesn't really. So
I would like to see Stones, Gahey, Stones, Conser, some form of them in the back line. So I wouldn't pick Maguire.
Or would he have liked to see Stones playing that midfield role and let Rice go up front for that game, playing the higher up role in that game?
I would rather play Stones DM than Mainu. I don't think Mainu's a bad player, but I do think he's
Didn't
only
really
in the
see
England
him
team.
a lot in the game.
I think he's only in the England team because he plays for Man United, I'll be honest. Because I think if he was at Southampton, playing exactly the same way he plays at Man United, I don't think he'd be in the England team. I don't. I don't think he'd have been selected.
I think I said, my words were, a lot of the players are just plodding along in this game. And I think...
Yeah, they weren't bothered. And you could tell that they weren't really bothered. It was boring.
So maybe that shows that maybe Trent looked better than he did because he didn't have the
He had
opposition.
something to prove.
The thing is he was up against nothing.
Yeah.
So, in my head, I'm thinking, why are you over-hitting it and fucking these passes up?
I would say, to be fair,
When you're not
just
even
looks-
under pressure because your opponents
Yeah.
are crap.
Because I'm not going to sit
There's no
there and
pressure
say
on.
that his crossing was world class because it wasn't, because probably only 2 out the 8, 9 that he put in. Some of them were under it, some of them were over it. But in general, when he was passing the ball about, and his defensive work was a lot, but it's probably his best defensive work that he's ever done in an
Against-
England shirt.
they
Exactly,
play-
and that's when I
back?
backtracked.
Just, I mean, it's
I'm
a
not
poor
going
opponent
to. I'm
that
not
we-
going to sit here today and go Trent was crap in that game because I
did
don't
say-
believe that he was.
Before the game started, I said to Zach, because Zach's been here. I will
Yeah.
explain more about that in a bit because it's
Yeah.
important to the later on in the pod. But I said to Zach before the game started, I said Lee Carsley's in a no-win situation now. Because if we go and smash 6 past Ireland, people will look at it and go, that was a decent game. That's what we should do.
Yeah,
Anything less than that, that's poor.
yeah,
Now, I said to Zach, now, if we win 2-3-0, but we constantly attack, and we're just close, or the keeper makes a save, or last-minute defending, or hitting the post, or whatever it is, and we only win 2 or 3, but we're constantly attacking, I will look at it and go, this is positive. Because there's so much attacking, and we're going forward. And then we watched it in the first half. We're like,
The first half
we're
was
doing
good.
more attacking than usual.
yeah.
It's still a bit slow, a bit laboured. There's too many passes at the back for me. And we need to go forward quicker.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit laboured, but better than Southgate. And I'm like, I'm a little bit optimistic now. And then they come out in the second half, and they did exactly what they would have done under Southgate. We're in the lead. We'll just sit here and do nothing. And my biggest issue with that is because that happens. Arsenal did it last season. They'd be 3-4 up at half-time, and they wouldn't be the same team in the second half. I get it. But what did Carsley do? Nothing. There was no changes made till the 76th minute.
Yeah.
So that's what disappointed me the most. He should have looked at that, and then in the 50th minute, he should be like, okay, you and you off. You 3 go on. prove a point to me now. Drag this game back out the doldrum and actually show me you want to play for England. But then you leave it to like nearly the 80th minute and the players are like, you've only given me 10 minutes on a really poor game when now nobody cares. Ireland don't care, they know they've lost. And England don't care because they know they've won. You've given me nothing. They've got nothing to work with. Make them changes earlier. That's what disappointed me about Lee Carsley. Is he just Southgated it all?
Yeah.
You must have thought yourself when there was no
I thought the game was good. I thought it was a little bit better than what we've been used to.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. First half.
And then I was like, and that's what I said. And then I said, but then we are playing
Poor team.
a weaker
A poor
team. So I kind of contradicted myself a little bit.
Sorry to any Irish people that are listening, but...
And I
It
sent
is
you
what
a
it
picture, and I did send a picture in the group as well, because when I got my daughter dressed in the morning, because obviously I do go over to Dublin, and I brought back a present, which was a dress. And what dress was that?
The dress actually had Ireland written in the top corner.
Yeah, and I was kind of like, I didn't plan that very well this morning
didn't.
when I was getting a dress, and didn't realise till, obviously, we were messaging about the game.
Like a loser because they lost 2-0.
No, I like their spirit.
He was just basically...
Yeah, when you're out drinking and having a laugh with them, they're amazing.
I like that.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm looking forward to doing it again.
I can imagine you are. We're going to need somebody on the podcast, people. Get in touch.
No, I'll go midweek. I'll be...
Oh, you'll
It's
be back for
cheaper.
the weekend.
Yeah, I normally go like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
Stand down,
something
everyone.
like
We don't
that.
need a replacement just yet. Yeah, I mean, it just... I was disappointed that we weren't more attacking, certainly in the second half. I was disappointed that Carsley waited so long to make changes when I thought it was... Personally, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to make changes at half-time. At least 2. Just to give somebody else, like say to some of the subs, you're getting half the game. It's the same as them 2 have had. So you're no different. Come and show me something.
Yeah.
But there was nothing. It's like there's no desire from them to actually improve the performance. It's like, okay, you're going out and you're playing crap in the second half, but so are they. Let's just have a crap game. No, let's change it. Let's put some players on that are going to want to actually impact the game.
So would you be happy with Kane on the bench?
I don't think Kane should be starting for England anyway. So yeah.
No. So you'd still be happy with him in the squad?
Yeah, of course.
Because he's obviously still a talented
he's a brilliant
player.
Striker. He's just tired, I think. He's just tired. He looks tired on the pitch.
They're the best players in the world.
He looks tired.
Potentially, when you're playing the likes of Argentina's and Spain's. And
I don't think he would stack up against them now.
No.
I don't think he would stack up against
and the
best
problem is,
and the quickest defenders on the planet.
we're not getting the players that are capable ready for these games.
Because they're sitting on the bench till the 80th minute.
Because all we're doing is basically saying, Harry Kane, go smash the England record. Why do you think Alan Shearer was nowhere near the goal-scoring records?
Well, they were playing against better players as well back then for a start.
You know, it's over the goals that he scored. Yeah, it's a phenomenal record. But then Peter Crouch, he scored a load of goals. But, you know, he did score a couple against the big teams. But a lot of the goals were against, like, the Jamaicas and stuff like that. Sorry, Jamaica, I do love Cool Runnings as a film. I keep saying things. I don't want to insult any countries.
I'm not sure if that's insulting or not. Cause
I think it's very insulting.
I reckon Jamaicans would find
I know that he
insulting.
does it on a regular basis, going, it's only
he's
whoever.
always insulting people, but that's why he's not on camera, because he knows he's insulting people.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Yeah, I mean...
Right, I'm going to wade in on that one, because why... I don't think necessarily that Shearer was playing against better defenders than, say, Rooney and Kane. Rooney set the record. Why did Rooney set the record?
Because he was one of the best strikers that we've had.
Yeah, but why did he set the record?
Because he kept playing over and over again.
I don't know the exact figure, but I heard, I vaguely remember reading something like out of his 49 or wherever he scored, 8 of them were against San Marino.
Yeah.
I didn't see Shearer playing against San Marino, and Shearer's England career wasn't that big.
No, I think
No.
Shearer, when he
Whereas-
played against San Marino, was at one of the games where San Marino took a shot lead in like the second minute or
Well, I
whatever
mean,
it
we'd have
was.
beat him 7-1.
But what my
Yeah.
point is,
There were goals in it.
where I'm going with this is, Shearer was brought in his prime, and then when the likes of Owen, Heskey, and other prominent strikers, Rooney and stuff, were starting to come through, those managers went, "That's our future. Sorry, mate. Thanks for your service, but we're going to try and usher in the new wave." Now it's like clinging on to what we've got and trying to hold on to that glory rather than going, well, we need to, in 2 years, we need someone better.
Was it?
Okay. Right.
Was it Andy Cole? Phenomenal club level, but I don't think he scored many at international, did
He
he?
didn't have the chance to.
Didn't have a chance to.
And he went. Was it like what?
Right,
One
I
in
can-
like 9 games or something.
I can give you now some of the stats, and I'll give you the top 10.
Okay.
Okay, and this tells you a lot. Frank Lampard in 10th. These are England's record goal scorers.
Yeah,
Frank
yeah.
Lampard's 10th. 29 goals in 106 appearances.
That's
Very
awesome.
good for a midfielder.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I think
for a
that's
midfielder.
all right.
Well, he was a
That's really
phenomenal
good.
player for England.
Alan Shearer, 30 goals in 63 appearances.
That's really good.
That's
really.
a goal every other game.
Yeah,
You can't
I'm
argue
okay
that.
with that.
Against the opponents that he'd got as well,
Yeah.
because I genuinely think they were better. Nat Lofthouse, albeit a while ago, 30 goals, 33 appearances. Can't argue with that.
No.
can you? Sir Tom Finney, 30 goals, 76 appearances. So there's 3 tied in 7.
Yeah.
6th, Michael Owen, 40 goals in 89 appearances. Decent record.
He just got ruined by injuries.
Very
He'd
much
probably
so.
have.
Oh,
He'd double.
He would be far and away England's record scorer had he not been injured. Jimmy Greaves, 44 goals,
What a player.
Yeah.
44 goals, 57 games.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
You know what the thing is? I bet you they played less international games
did.
back
loads.
then.
They did.
44 in 57. That's insane. Right, 4th, Gary Lineker. 48 goals in 80 appearances.
Still not.
Still good.
Incredible. More than a goal every other game.
Yeah.
Sir Bobby Charlton, 49 goals in 106 appearances. I think that's a good record as well. Wayne Rooney, 53 goals in 120 appearances. So he's currently the most appearances in the top 10.
Yeah.
And he's
By a
got
long
53 goals, so he's less than a goal every other game, but still a decent record.
Yeah.
Harry Kane has got 66 goals currently in 97 appearances.
That's not bad. It's 1 in 3.
It's very
Yeah.
good.
Third.
It's very good. But you think about who Michael Owen was scoring goals against, and you think about who Alan Shearer was scoring goals against, and now think about Harry Kane.
Here you go.
Right.
Harry Kane takes all the penalties. And he was
I
trying
was
to
just
take.
about to say, in the World Cup, he got
Because
the golden boot.
Rooney wasn't taking penalties,
4
was he?
out of his 6 were penalties. I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Because Rooney wasn't taking penalties, was he?
I mean,
Because
Harry Kane's a
Beckham
great
was
striker.
taking penalties.
Yeah, Beckham had the penalties because he scored that one against
But this was my
Argentina.
argument when someone was trying to compare De Bruyne's stats to Bruno Fernandes. And they're like,
takes
oh,
penalties.
same amount of goals. And it's like, yeah, but Fernandes takes all Man United's penalties.
De Bruyne does not take
No.
6 penalties.
I think he
taking
did
a couple.
before, didn't he?
He's taken a couple, but he's not taking
He's
a
not.
lot.
He's not.
No,
he's not their
Haaland's
number
got
one.
them all now.
Well, Haaland's... You're not going to give it to anybody else, are you? Haaland's on the pitch because like finishing one-on-one with a goalkeeper. I'd trust Haaland over anybody else on the planet right now. If he's one-on-one with a keeper, 99 times out of 100 he's going in.
Yeah.
And that is a strike rate that you can get behind. I still don't think he's great against great defenders, but one-on-one with a keeper, I'd back him every time.
Yeah.
Because he's good at what he does. He's good at finding the net. As simple as that. I still don't
Yeah.
think he's as good as people make him out.
But we are playing a lot of games these days. Internationals are no longer tournament and qualifiers. It's tournament, qualifiers, friendlies, super friendlies,
We don't really
stupid
have
little
that now,
made
do we?
up
But
competitions.
We've got the tournament in the summer,
Yeah.
and now we're back onto another tournament.
It's not really.
I don't really call it a tournament. It's
You
for
get a trophy at
playoff
the end of
places, isn't it?
You get a trophy at the end of it.
Yeah.
It's a tournament.
Like I said,
Same as the
super
Community
friendlies.
Shield. I see the Community
Yeah.
Shield as a trophy.
Yeah.
I don't care if anybody else doesn't. That's your prerogative. I see the Community Shield as a trophy. Like it or not, I don't care. I see the Nations League as a trophy. We're in it. I want to win it. We're never going to, because our managers are too defensive and too laboured and too boring to make the changes that need change.
Well, I don't think we can win it. Because we're relegated, aren't we? So now we're fighting for promotion to be able to.
Yeah, we need to
compete.
get to a point where we can compete for it again. But I want to win it because we're in it.
But it's
so
good
go
for
and win it.
But it's good for the teams that are lower down the pyramid.
Georgia would never have made the World Cup.
Well, no, because
had it
they
not
got
been
their
for the Nations
playoff
League.
spot and they won their playoff game.
I think the Nations League is a fantastic idea. An amazing idea. I think it's superb because it gives them smaller nations that chance.
And Georgia were one of my
favourite.
favourite. They were one of my favourite teams.
We all loved watching Georgia during that because they were just fun to watch. Because
Yeah.
you could see it in them. They were just happy to be there. Like you watch England and they are terrified every kick of the ball. That they're gonna. The press over here are the worst virus you could ever possibly imagine.
I think we only probably enjoyed one game with England, maybe the Netherlands game, a little bit. Otherwise, my favourite games that I was watching were Georgia,
Yeah,
Turkey,
yeah, they had some good games.
and Spain, apart from when they spanked us.
But they deserve that. I mean, we
Yeah.
should have done better. But again, it was the defensive nature of what we do. And
But for me, they were the best three teams in the tournament.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Right, I think what we're going to do is into break number 1, which may be our only
International
break today. International break number 1.
Yeah.
We may only have one break this week. It depends whether we've got enough to talk about or not.
I'm sure we will.
I don't know. He's quite quiet this week, isn't he? He's normally got loads to say.
He's not interested in international. When we move on from international
As soon as
football,
go
we
back
might
to
have
normal
something
football,
to.
all you'll hear is tin ribs.
Yeah.
I do have something to say in the next part that isn't
Cool.
international.
Well, that's something to look forward to. Tune in, folks. We shall be back with you very shortly. Hello and welcome back from the break to the second half. Now, as we do in the second half, out of our 3 halves, we go into Who Am I? Which, for those that are new, it is a game where I pick 3 random footballers and then I'll give you clues on each one and you guess who it is. And it's always footballers, so that's not a giveaway because we're a football podcast. Now, this week I hadn't done any right up until this morning. So I turned to my 12-year-old son and said, give me 3 random names. So if you can't guess it this week, it's not actually my fault. I've written the clues down.
It better not be somebody that plays on his school team or something like that.
No, they have to be legit footballers. That was the only sort of giveaway. It's not his best mate or anything like that, so don't worry about it. So, right, what we do here, for those that don't know, a very quick rundown is I will give a set few clues, and then I will say, who am I? And you both have a guess. Try not to look at each other's work. I won't say anything. And if one of them gets it right in the first point, they get 10 points. 5 points. I say 10 every week. They get 5 points. Then in part 2, I'll give some more clues, which are slightly more obvious. You'll then reveal your answers on the board. And if you get it during that section, you get 3 points. And then you'll get some in part 3, which is just basically virtually telling you who it is without giving you the name. And then you'll get 1 point.
Although last week I did get feedback that somebody said that we never actually said
was
Ronaldo last week
I was
was
just
the
about to say
answer.
that, one of the answers last week was R9 Ronaldo, and I didn't actually say it, so I can only apologise for that.
Yeah, somebody asked me who it actually
You know what?
was.
We've all had it.
Yeah, we've all had that. So
this numpty.
I sincerely apologise because that is totally and utter. As much as I'd like to blame JimJam for that, it was my fault, and I apologise for that. But I have reminded myself on each page that I need to, at the end of it, say who it was. So we are on week 7 of this game. It's amazing how quick these weeks are going, you know. Well, we're on 46 now, so we're on week 46, man. That's crazy.
Problem is, every week that goes by, I go further and further behind because I've established that I'm not the best at this game.
Yeah. Well, you never know. This may be the week where you.
I wasn't
where
very
you
good for the first 2 weeks.
Again, all 3 of these were chosen by my 12-year-old. I just wrote the clues down. I didn't pick the footballer. Week 7, Player 1, Part 1. I was born 21st of January 1989 in Yerevan, Armenia. I am 5'10". I'm still playing at 35. I started my career at Punic in 1995 at 6 years old. And I started my senior career at Punic. I made 70 appearances, scoring 30 goals. Who am I? Right, so while they're having a think, for those that are listening, I was born 21st of Jan, 1989, in Yerevan, Armenia. I am 5'10". I am still playing at 35. I started my youth career at Punic in 1995 at 6 years old, and I started my senior career at Punic, making 70 appearances and scoring 30 goals from 2006. Who am I? I only read through them a second time, basically, just so it fills the silence of these guys thinking. We have one guest from JimJam. We have nothing from Tin Ribs. So I can actually release Tin Ribs has not got 5 points this week because he didn't even give me a name. Part 2. In 2010, I joined Shakhtar Donetsk, making 72 appearances, scoring 38 goals. I stayed there till 2013, where I joined Borussia Dortmund, making 90 appearances, scoring 23 goals. I played 95 times for Armenia, scoring 32 goals. I won 4 league titles in Armenia. I was the most expensive Armenian player and Dortmund's club record signing in 2013, costing 27.5 million euros. Euros, not pounds sterling. Who am I? So while they're having a bit of a think again, Jim's not giving up. He's sticking with his guess. And Tin Ribs is having a think. So while he's thinking, I'm going to run through the clips again.
I've got a name and I can't think of it.
Run through the clips again. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run through the clues again. 2010 to 2013, I played for Shakhtar Donetsk, playing 72 times, scoring 38 goals. 2013 to 2016, I was at Borussia Dortmund, playing 90 games, scoring 23 goals. I played 95 times for Armenia, scoring 32 goals. I won 4 league titles in Armenia, and I was the most expensive Armenian player in history and Dortmund's club record signing in 2013, costing 27.5 million euros. Who am I? Tin Ribs.
I can't think of his name. No, still not going to think.
Nothing.
I'm just hoping he says one thing that would be
Part
that this
three.
makes it right.
He's going to be wounded if that's not correct, because he's just sat there like, I is right, man.
He's the only Armenian footballer I know. So
Part 3. 2016 to 2018, I was at Man United, playing 39 games, scoring 5 goals.
it's a good start.
2018 to 2020,
I'm hoping he goes to them.
I was at Arsenal, playing 39 games, scoring 8 goals. 2019, I went on loan to Roma. 2020, I joined permanently. Total, making 87 appearances, scoring 27 goals. My name is very difficult to spell. Who am I? So
I think that proves it.
I think it is wrong as well, the spelling, but I'll check it.
I can't think of his fucking... I know who it is, but I can't think of his fucking name.
While Tin Ribs is having a think, I'll go through the clues again. 2016 to 2018, I was at Man United, 39 games, 5 goals. 2018 to 2020, I was at Arsenal, 39 games, 8 goals. 2019, I was on loan at Roma. And 2020, I joined Roma permanently, making a total of 87 appearances, scoring 27 goals. My name is very difficult to spell. I know who you mean, even though it's wrong. And they are now both correct, albeit JimJam got 5 points and Tin Ribs got 1. So
I panicked for a while.
For those that are still unsure, it is our dear friend Henrik Mkhitaryan.
On number 3 points, I knew I could see his face and everything, but I just couldn't think of his fucking name.
You actually weren't far off with your spelling.
Wanta.
No,
I've rubbed it out now.
In fact, you were very, very close with your spelling. You could have been on about anything in the fucking world, but I roughly knew who you meant when you put it. So that was player 1 was Henrik Mkhitaryan. And you got it.
I just got lucky the fact that his
lucky
name jumped in my head straight away.
An Armenian footballer, and it happened to be the one that
when
Zach
they were saying
chosen.
Dortmund, I knew who it was, and I could see his fucking face. I could see, and I was just thinking, how do I say his name? What's his fucking name?
Well, I knew who it was, and then all of a sudden I was like, his name's gone out my head, and then I was in a panic then.
That's exactly
I was
what
like,
happened to me.
To be fair, if you just put initials next time that happens, you can remember the initials.
I wouldn't have remembered the initials.
But yeah, so Henrik Mkhitaryan, player 1. You get 5 points, Jim. And
I think you just caught me up in one go.
So Jim got 5, Tin got 1. If I do that at the bottom, just keeps on. Right, so week 7, player 2, part 1. Are we ready, gentlemen? I was born 29th of May, 1981. I am 43 years old. I am 5'8". I was born in Leningrad, Russia. I started my youth career in 1988 and I stayed till 1999 at Zenit St. Petersburg. Who am I? So while they're having a think, although they're not actually having a think, they've both written names down, but I'll go through it again just for them listening. I was born 29th of May 1981. I'm 43 years old. I'm 5'8". I was born in Leningrad, Russia. I started my youth career in 1988 at Zenit St. Petersburg and stayed till 1999. Part 2.
If it's not this guy, I'll be amazed.
I was at Zenit from 1988 and stayed till 2008 because the 1999 was just his youth career. I didn't make that clear in the last bit. I was at Zenit from 1988 to 2008, making 238 appearances and scoring 51 goals. I am a winger/attacking midfielder, and I played 75 times for Russia, scoring 17 goals. Who am I? Again, for those listening, I was at Zenit from 1988 to 2008. I made 238 appearances, scoring 51 goals. I'm going to have to read that out. I am a winger/attacking midfielder, and I played 75 times for Russia, scoring 17 goals. And no, Tin Ribs, it's not the meerkat. He was comparing the meerkat.
Oh, right.
No, that's wrong. Part 3. I joined Arsenal in 2008 to 2013, making 105 appearances, scoring 23 goals, 4 of which came in a 4-4 draw with Liverpool. I was Arsenal's most expensive ever signing in 2008, 15 million. I left Arsenal to rejoin Zenit in 2013. Who am I? So, I think you both got it first time then, didn't you?
Yeah. As long as he wrote that name first time.
He did write that one first time, I'm sure he did. So, yeah.
His name?
Is Andrei Arshavin, the Russian little legend that joined Arsenal in 2008.
See, I had this little panic where I thought, has he gone with
years.
a Tottenham Russian, which was like... was it Pavlyuchenko? Yeah. So it was like... And then I thought, surely he's not 5'8".
No,
because I thought he was quite tall.
6 foot when he was quite big. Right, so we're on to the last one. So you both got 5 points on that one, boys. Andrei Arshavin, straight away.
Zenit St. Petersburg.
That's when you immediately started writing.
As soon as, yeah.
As soon as I said Zenit, I could see you just went straight for it.
I just went with the only small Russian that I knew.
The 5'8", I thought was giving it away a little bit. I did debate not putting his height in the first bit, to be honest. But
when you said the height, I thought of Arshavin, especially with the age, because I knew he was around our age.
Yeah.
But as soon as you said Zenit, I would, definitely him.
But you have to have an easy one every now and then. And like I say, I didn't pick the players this week, so I can't be blamed. Week 7, Player 3, Part 1. I was born on 2nd of August 1989. I'm 35 years old. I was born in Liège, Belgium. I'm 6'2". I started my youth career in 1994 to 1998 at JS Thiers à Liège. I know I've butchered that. So, while they're having a think, I am going to read the clues again. I was born on the 2nd of August 1989 and I'm 35 years old. I was born in Liège, Belgium. I'm 6'2". I started my youth career in 1994 to 1998 at JS Thiers à Liège in Belgium. I know I've butchered that. So, names, please. Gentlemen, we have a name from JimJam. And we have a name from Tin Ribs. What is that in the corner of your board? It's a good job you're not on camera.
I really want to know what's in the corner of his board.
You'll find out at the end. Right, so... Okay, so, sorry. I need Jim's final score there and Tin Ribs' final score there. Part 2. I played once for Morocco in a friendly. I played 66 times for Belgium. 2013, I joined Spurs, playing 88 times, scoring 15 goals. In 2016, I joined West Brom, making 36 appearances, scoring 6 goals. Who am I? For those that are listening, because they both look ridiculously perplexed right now, I'm going to read the clues again. I played once for Morocco in a friendly. I then played 66 times for Belgium. In 2013, I joined Spurs, making 88 appearances, scoring 15 goals. And in 2016, I joined West Brom, making 36 appearances, scoring 6 goals. Who am I? Any ideas, gentlemen?
you know, if you're playing, if you're right, if the first one, do you still get it if we got it right, even if we
If
put
you
another
get it right
name?
first time and then get it wrong afterwards, you've got it right first time, so it's fine. But I'm going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because
It's the wrong spelling.
too much silence on the pod would be horrendous.
Yeah.
So we got one there, and we got one there. Okay. So, second bit done. Part 3. I'm an attacking midfielder / winger. I was West Brom's club record signing for 13 million. My initials are NC. You sticking with?
I'm going to stick with the
sticking with that
second
one?
go,
Okay.
yeah.
Right. So while Tin Ribs is having a think,
And having 0 points.
I am an attacking midfielder / winger. I was West Brom's club record signing for 13 million in 2016. My initials are NC. Any idea at all?
No, I've gone
So
completely
Tin Ribs
blank
is
on
out.
that.
So Tin
I'm
Ribs
out,
has
yeah.
got 0 points. That is only the second time we've had 0 points. And it was NASA Chadley. Again, wasn't me that chose it.
Wow.
It
was the West Brom that threw me with, because I was pretty sure Vertonghen was a good
that was
guess.
his second guess. Have you still
It
got
was
that
your
thing in the
first
corner
guess.
of your fucking... I was looking at that and I'm like, oh my God.
I knew it would put him off.
It's a schlong, everyone that's listening. He's drawn a schlong that's excited or whatever.
I really thought Vertonghen was going to be...
Well, I put Vertonghen, and then when he said about being an attacking midfielder, my brain went...
5, 10...
It was the West Brom, and then the Morocco threw me as well.
13.
I'll put the car key for my
13 for Jim, so he's on.
That would have worked with West Brom.
Right, Jim is now on 46. Now, let's bear in mind, you were 13 behind. You were 13 behind, and you've just scored 13.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're now on what he was on last week. So you're now behind whatever he scored this week, which is 6. So you've gone from 13 behind to 6 behind. I'd take
it was
that.
a good week.
I'd take that. That was decent. So you're now only 6
Yeah.
points behind. So another one of them. And you'll be good. Right. So now we've done it, and I've remembered to read out who the players actually were so people know who we were actually talking about.
Yeah.
I will sort some more out for next week. Tin Ribs had something he wanted to say to us at the end of the first half, and we just ignored him.
No, it's all good. So, obviously, with all the international football, a lot of the upper tiers were no longer playing. However, Macclesfield played.
They did.
Macclesfield did play.
Now, do you remember when the season was about to start and you lost your manager and we were like, oh, what's going to happen? Robbie Savage in charge. Oh, how's this going to go?
Nobody knew what was going to happen
No
with
one
Robbie
knew.
Savage because nobody knew what he was like as a
Nope.
coach, let alone a manager.
Yeah, so 7 games in.
Yep.
Macclesfield are now a point clear at the top.
Yep.
5 wins, 2 draws.
Yeah. Couldn't have gone any better,
That
really.
is fantastic.
I mean, that's sort of dreamland.
The only thing
I've
I've noticed with the scores, do you think he's solidified the defence a lot? Because
we're not
they're
conceding.
low-scoring
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
aren't they? They're
We're
like
not- we're not
1-0s.
conceding nearly as much as we were before.
And when I'm watching the scores, I'm like, are we going to hold on? Are we going to hold on kind of thing? And, they are at the moment.
Yeah, they're a lot more solid than I think they've been for years. Like this is the most solid they've been since being called Macclesfield FC.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen a defence like this since Macclesfield Town years ago. So it's really good to see that we are a lot more solid at the back because at the end of the day, it's the most important thing, isn't it? Because if you don't concede, you can't lose, even if you don't win. So I think having a strong defence is massive.
Yeah.
And he seems to have really sort of ramped it up and
I think
seems
he's
to be
doing a
getting it right.
fantastic job.
Yeah.
brilliant job.
But I wanted to bring that up because obviously I didn't watch any of the international football because most of it is boring as shit.
Have you got MixLR?
No.
There's an app, even for everyone listening, there's an app called MixLR. It's all one word, MIXLR. And you can basically get every single lower league team has got their own radio.
Oh,
and
excellent.
they promote it through MixLR. So every time that Mac play, I get the option to open my radio, listen to MixLR, and you've got somebody commentating on the game for you. And that's every single game. Stafford Rangers, Macclesfield, I'm assuming there's other lower league teams that do it. I'm only really... We like Stafford Rangers because obviously we've got friends of the pod, Craig and Shane, that are highly involved in Stafford Rangers, both of them. That's the one, red. It's a red background with white dots on it, basically. And if you go into the search bar, search for Stafford, search for Mac, add them as favourites, it'll inform you every time they're on, and you can listen to it on the radio if you so choose. Brilliant app. And it really... but it's fans commentating, which is even better, because obviously if they're losing, it's a fan. It's a real fan that's watching the game and listening. So when you listen to the one from Stafford, it's Stafford accents that you're listening to. When you listen to the one from Macclesfield, it's Macclesfield accents that you're listening to. Brilliant. It's one of the best things that's been done for lower league football. And as we always do when we're talking about lower league football, we will just quickly mention JRI again, Junior Rangers Initiative. They are friends of the pod. And have you watched any more of their videos recently?
Of course.
They've done some more food reviews of Kettering Town.
Yeah, I saw that pizza.
Did you see the size of that pizza?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh my God. That was huge. Like a 12-inch pizza. And this 11-year-old's looking at it going, that's mine.
Oh, he was not sharing.
I'm having it. And honestly, it looked delicious.
Yeah.
When he lifted it up, it was one of them where he lifted it up and the cheese was actually stringy against it. And that looks so good.
It did actually look really good.
It looked really good, didn't it? But it's one of them things. Had they not shown it on JRI, we'd have had no clue.
No.
And now
good to see that we've all seen it as well.
I'd love to have an away day at Kettering just to buy a pizza, because that looks great.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyone that wants to follow JRI, I'll leave some of their links in the bottom, because they are a lot of fun to watch. And they do a lot of fun things, and they are just kids, and they love what they do, and they love the football that they watch, and they're supporting the local team. Like, how many times do we bitch because kids are just following City, or kids are just following United because of their name, or Chelsea because they were winning, and these kids are following their local side who are suffering right now,
big time.
Stafford Rangers are suffering badly, and these kids are there week in, week out, smiling, enjoying themselves, and basically trying to pick up all the other fans around them. And honestly, they're fighting, a tough battle right now. And do you know what?
I tell you what, they're in serious trouble, because they've got a big ground.
It is for the
for what the level they're at now.
That is a large ground.
And the way they're performing at the moment, they're in real.
I follow Stafford Rangers on Facebook and that, and they're struggling. I mean, even the fans their most optimistic fans are currently very dejected.
Yeah,
and I understand why, because they are poor at the moment. That's the best way to describe it without being nasty. They are poor right now, and Stafford Town are kicking ass. So that
they're going to overtake
more, because Stafford Town are and have always been below Stafford Rangers.
Yeah.
But as it stands, they're not far behind, kicking on and doing something pretty special for Stafford Town. And
they might have to do a ground swap.
They might not be far. I know. I do feel sorry for the lads that do JRI, but like they're becoming quite successful in what they're doing.
I think the thing is, though,
popular.
If Stafford Town do overtake Stafford Rangers, because it's very unusual probably to have two non-league sides very close to each other at that sort of level competing, and if they do overtake, can you see they're only coming back for Stafford Rangers? Because obviously all the younger players will go to Stafford Town rather than Stafford Rangers, because it's going to be the bigger club.
The thing that you've got is, right now Stafford Rangers have got a much better youth system than Stafford Town. But
again, it's for how long? If you overtake on the pyramid, then
they are struggling right now. They really are, and they need something doing fast. Because they are suffering. And I want Stafford Rangers to do well, because I want the kids at JRI to enjoy what they're watching, because they're there every single match. It's not every week; it's every game. Like twice a week, 3 times a week. Sometimes they're there, supporting them, interviewing everybody, doing the food review. I mean, they are hilarious. Like, and then food reviews are great. And it genuinely, there's times where I've sat there and I was fine when I watched this video. Now I've seen this, I'm starving.
Perhaps there's a reason why they're doing food reviews and not football reviews.
Yeah, because at least they could be positive about the
Yeah.
pizza and not about the result. But yeah, again, anyone that wants to follow, honestly, Junior Rangers Initiative, give them a follow because they are absolutely brilliant, and the kids deserve all the success that comes their way.
Yeah.
So
I was happy with one of the lower game because obviously I do a last man standing with a few of the lads from football and stuff. So we decided to go ahead with this week as there was limited games because of the international. So there was a vote went out. Do we want to play? Most people said yes. People on One Live were kind of like, no, we don't want to play.
where's it? Is it work?
No, this is like the Friday night football.
Okay.
It's what Bish put in the.
Yeah, put it up about.
I remember seeing it. Yeah, I don't.
So did all right. So obviously I picked Notts County. So it gave me a team to look out for. Most people went for Wrexham.
What a surprise!
A
Shocker.
few people didn't get results right. I mean, last year when I did it, I think I did like 6 weeks and got like it wrong most week. I got knocked out very quickly. So. Yeah, so it gave me something to look out for anyway, just
I mean,
to pick a team
I
that's
always
going to
have
win.
the Macclesfield thing to look for, so I've always got that. And I keep my eyes now, obviously, on Stafford Rangers to see how they're going on.
I will say last season when Wrexham got promoted, I did say they'll go up again. Proving me right so far.
Yeah, I think they're just going to fly up now, aren't they? I mean, they're going to struggle when they hit Championship for sure.
Early on, I don't know. I mean, they made some good signings. They got Jack Marriott, who is renowned for being a good League One striker. But when he made the step up with Derby to Championship, he was awful.
Yeah, it all depends what they get.
But then if they're smart enough, they'll just upgrade again.
But again, it's financial. Have they...
There's only so much they can do. I mean, they would have to sell for decent money in order to then reinvest, wouldn't they? Because otherwise they're just going to be where City are.
Yeah. I don't think they're throwing their own money into it so much.
There's a lot of contracts on that they've got.
They are getting a lot of documentary though.
Yeah.
When you watch the documentary, you realise they're getting a lot of players from, like, right now they're playing with partly a lower Championship team, but they're on big contracts. They're free players who are coming down. But they're on big contracts there.
And people want to join the journey, don't they? So if a player's coming towards the end of a career and go, you know what, I could do it at League One level, they're going to go, I'll go Wrexham.
Yeah, but you know what one of the problems with having a lot of veterans is? They don't have the stamina for the big seasons.
No.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, it's
at the moment, they're 7 games in and they are flying. But like we said about Sunderland in the Championship right now, you'll remember this. Last season, Sunderland were flying going into Christmas. And then they completely and totally capitulated and they finished, 9th?
Yeah.
They went from like 3rd to 9th in 2 months.
Jesus.
They just completely fell apart. And that's what, this is where I got it wrong. I honestly thought that's what Ipswich were going to do. I thought Ipswich were riding on their luck.
Well, we both did.
With that last-minute goal.
I think Ipswich did.
Yeah, they were really running on that last-minute fight, get the last-minute goal for the point, get the last-minute goal for the win. And they were running very lucky on that. And I think that's where they fell apart in the Premiership because they're just not going to do it. That die-hard fighting is not going to do them in the Premiership. It's like, we got a goal against City. You conceded 6. Liverpool they're going to get smashed most weeks,
pretty much,
and that's fair. It's I think they overstretched.
Yeah, they're having their season of joy right now, and the fans need to enjoy it. And you never know, maybe they'll get a couple of results along the way.
Like Luton, I kind of hope they stay because they haven't got there through spending lots of money. They've got there through hard work and determination.
Isn't it their manager that left for Chelsea?
No, that was Leicester's. I'm really enjoying the fact that the arrogant prick's doing a shit job at Chelsea.
I mean, that brings us on nicely to something that happened this week as well, which we can go into in a minute.
Oh yeah, I'll just wrap this up then very quickly. But yeah, I think at the moment, especially in those type of divisions, what you see now may not reflect very well in 3 months. And at the moment, Wrexham are doing really well. I'd be interested to see where they are in Christmas.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like I say, at the moment, they're sort of proving me wrong. I figured the step up might be a bit too much. But they've done the same again. But now they've got to be stretching their financials. Yes, Ryan Reynolds and
Rob McKenny.
McElhenney,
yeah.
something like
You know,
that.
they've put a lot of money, and financially they can support that.
Yeah.
Financial fair play. They're not really doing very well. 19,000. Congratulations. That's how many you're getting in your stadium. That is not going to support.
You don't know
that
how
kind
much
of-
they're getting from the documentary, though.
This is true, but it's still not going to support their mass influx. Because what you got to remember is
They're not
teams-
going to be able to sell players.
But it's also not. It's not.
So you have to sell players to carry on.
It's not a case of like they've been there a few seasons and built the team up. They've literally paid straight out to have that team.
Yeah.
Well, that's massive financial.
Oh, yeah, of course.
That's a drain. I don't think they have enough coming in through revenue to support that kind of a push quickly. If they were to go up, like now, they playoffs, don't make it, and then they up their stadium to 25,000, and then they still get the same financials, but they've got more people coming in, then great, they will go up. There's no, I foresee Wrexham in the Premiership in about 10 years' time.
That long?
Yeah. I don't think people realise how hard it is. What Ipswich have done is miraculous.
I'm not sure they'll ever get out of the Championship.
I think they will.
Because we had this discussion earlier, and I genuinely believe right now that the Championship is one of, if not the best league in Europe. Because if you look at Scotland, you know who's winning. You look at England, you know who's winning. Spain, Italy, Germany, for the most part, apart from one freak season, you know who's winning.
Yeah.
Championship's the only one you cannot predict outright they're going to win it. Because there's so many twists and turns and ups and downs.
It's a very competitive league.
Like,
but
for me, Leeds were definitely going up.
Last season.
Yeah, it's like a first or second.
Yeah.
Like, Leeds will get first or second, definitely. And then all of a sudden, Ipswich just appear from nowhere.
yeah.
And Leicester just keep the run going, and you're like, I just didn't see that happening.
Yeah.
Whereas the Premier League, City won, I saw that happening. Celtic won, saw that happening. Okay, Leverkusen surprised everybody with their win in Germany.
I imagine
Real
PSG
Madrid
probably won and Real
PSG
Madrid
won. And
won.
just like, well, I just expected all that. We were looking through it earlier, me and Zach. Right, we found out that the most unpredictable league in Europe right now is the Dutch. The Holland League is the most unpredictable because in the last 10 years there's been more winners than any other league in Europe. I mean, we haven't looked at Wales or Luxembourg or whatever, so like we're on about the bigger end of countries. But yeah, Holland, they've had more winners in the last 10 years than anybody else.
Yeah.
Spain, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Last 10 years has just been Bayern Munich, apart from one in Germany, Celtic in Rangers, and City in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I will say it again, just because I enjoy saying it. They only won because their fans were not allowed in the ground. I mean, when you
otherwise. Talk about bridging gaps as well, I mean, I look at it now and think, you know what, we've made some good signings this season at Southampton and we could compete and stuff like that. But at the moment, we're going back down, and you know who we're going back down with?
Ramsdale.
We're going back down with Ipswich and Leicester, because it seems at the moment that the gap between
Ipswich and Everton.
I know that's what we want.
I honestly think Everton are worse than Leicester at the moment. They are horrendous, and I'm so happy for it.
But that gap, apart from Everton, because of everything that's going on, the gap seems that
it is getting
bigger now.
Well, last season the three that went up went down.
Yeah,
and it looks a lot like the three that went up are going to go down this season. And,
potentially,
you know, you could get to a point that the only reason Everton are surviving is because the three coming up from the Championship are just worse than them.
Yeah, and it just seems like that gap now is just getting bigger because.
Right, you now, either one of you now, fight your case, if you have one, for the Premier League being the best league in Europe. Three that go up, go down.
Okay, no.
And City win it every year.
So
fight your case for it being the best league in Europe.
Maybe not on the side of competition level. Okay, so you sort of predetermined who's going to win. The standard of football and clubs that are in the division are better than any other league. For example,
I would argue that we have more diving than any other league in Europe, even Spain and Italy these days.
But hear me out. I would argue that if you were to take the bottom half of La Liga,
Yeah.
the bottom half of Serie A, the
Yeah.
bottom half of the Bundesliga,
Yeah.
I would argue that the bottom half of the Premier League is stronger than all of them.
Okay. Do you know what isn't? Do you know what I genuinely believe is the worst in Europe?
Go on.
Our officials.
Oh, our officials are terrible.
100%.
Hands
And
down the worst.
I think part of the reason that our league is not
So bad.
anywhere near it should be is like we import
Players,
the
managers.
best players and managers.
Why do we not
around
bring in the
Europe.
best
Yeah.
officials?
Why are we not dragging the best officials over?
I agree.
'Cause
100%.
our officials are dog mess.
Is there some sort of rule on the officials?
I don't know.
Because we've got Jared Gillett from Australia, so I should
And
think
he's
not.
really good.
And he's brilliant.
Every game I've
He's
seen,
probably our best
yeah,
referee right now, and he's the only one that's not English.
And
or
he does a lot of
British or whatever.
championship. He does a lot of
He
championship.
is a superb.
And every time
referee.
he's been in charge of Leeds or a game I've watched, I've actually sat there and gone, he's nailed this match. He's good.
he's a decent referee.
Yeah, yeah.
So why aren't we bringing in the best referees?
I think we should. I genuinely think
Because
that is a big
our
oversight.
officials are dreadful.
You know what
Dreadful.
the biggest problem is? When you watch
Officials.
Ref Watch and you've
Oh,
got
don't even start with that
Dermot,
idiot.
it's
I've
Dermot
never watched
Gallagher,
it,
isn't
as I
it?
know it would annoy me.
Don't. He's an
He
idiot.
just backs every single decision
He
that
will
the
stand
ref
there.
Yes, he
makes.
does because he's still part of the PGMOL or whatever.
He
it
will
is
stand
that-
there on the show and contradict himself.
Yeah.
He will stand
Yeah.
there with two things that are identical, but because the ref give one and didn't give the other, he go, oh, well, the ref was right on this. Oh, the ref was right. And even Stephen Warnock's going, but you've just said the same things. He's
you
an
know-
absolute melt.
Do you know what? Like, I do watch Match of the Day because obviously I've only started watching it again since we've done this podcast though. Just so
Yeah.
I've got some idea of what's happening in some of the other
Yeah,
games because
yeah.
I watch Arsenal or Southampton. If you're on, I'll now watch Southampton and not any of the others. So I'll have to watch Match of the Day to catch up on the other games.
Yeah.
Do you know what annoys me more than anything else in the world when it comes to football right now? Is that they'll start with game one.
Yeah.
And they'll all three of them, or all four of them, whoever's on, will sit there and say the same as we do. And they go, do you know what? One of the biggest problems with us right now is the lack of consistency. The lack of consistency is such a problem. I'm like, I agree. I think it is. But you know what? They'll watch game two, and then Danny Murphy will sit there, and he'll go, some refs give it, some won't. You've just told us that that's a problem, because it's not consistent. And now you're going, oh, it's fine, some will give it, some won't. That's inconsistency, you fucking idiot.
He is a bit of an idiot, though.
Like, you'll listen to him on TalkSport. If you listen to him when he first got on TalkSport, he spoke like a normal footballer, like a regular, everyday footballer.
Yeah.
Since he's been on with Simon Jordan, I'm sure he goes home and studies the dictionary. Because he's trying to come out with these words that he thinks everyone else is not going to understand. He's never going to outdo Simon Jordan in a conversation. Right, let's get that straight right now.
Yeah.
He's never, ever going to outdo Simon Jordan. But then he'll come out with all these phrases that he thinks are really clever. Then he'll sit there and say shit like, yeah, some refs will give it, some won't. That is the whole problem. That some refs are giving it and some are not. How are you not getting this? How can you sit there and get paid to give your opinion when it's that bad? Honestly, it really annoys me. You can't go on about inconsistency and then go, some refs give it, some won't.
All I want to see is, like you say, he kicks the ball away. He doesn't book him. The next player that does it, he doesn't book him. He should book both of them.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And what I want to see is the referee actually reinforce the rules, because the players will then learn. So, book him for diving. Book him for kicking the ball away. Book him for having a conversation with the referee if you're not the captain.
If every single player that kicked the ball away got booked, nobody would have moaned about Declan Rice the other day. Nobody would have said a damn thing. All we would have said is, don't put your foot towards the fucking ball when someone's rolled it towards. He's rolled it into you. That's fine. You're not going to get booked for that. Don't turn your foot into the ball. You know everyone's going to get booked. And you know you're on a yellow. That's stupid.
Yeah.
But because it's so inconsistent, that's why Arsenal fans are arguing the point. And that game in particular, as Tin Ribs even said, was particularly bad for officials. It was like we were Wolves last season, because everything went against Wolves last season.
Yeah.
They were bullied last season by the officials. I don't know what happened with Wolves last season. It was a joke. And this season seems to be Arsenal at the moment because we've had a lot of fucking ridiculous decisions go against us, including the Declan Rice one.
Perhaps they're now like, right, you've had your chance to beat City now, so now it's
thing,
not
though,
your turn this year. It's now going to be
if you want to take
Slots
away
year or something. They're now going to back Liverpool all the way again.
I don't think Liverpool are going to. I don't think Liverpool will challenge for the league this season. They'll definitely be top 4. But
I don't know yet. I mean, it's too early. It's far too early to see who's going to challenge.
But I don't think they're going to. I don't think anyone's going to challenge because as soon as someone gets near, the officials will be like, "No,
It's like Paul Merson just turning round on the sports and Ireland his second hat trick of the season, and he was like, "Well, that's the golden boot winner sorted for this season."
Kind of is though.
He's got a point though, hasn't he? He's got a point. Because like, can you imagine? Like, I mean, I've said to you both. As soon as City play Southampton, I'm captaining bloody Haaland and putting him on triple captain because your defence is terrible right now, and he is going to rip you to pieces.
I heard something stupid on the radio, so I'm going to name a player. No, I'm going to name a player and tell me if he's overrated or underrated.
Okay.
Mohamed Salah.
Slightly overrated.
I think he had one season where he was phenomenal.
Agreed.
And at the time,
like Van Dijk.
Yeah, at the time, I think no one could touch it. I don't think anyone would be in comparison. I think he was probably his absolute pinnacle. I don't think there was anyone in the world at the time who sort of kept up there with him. Even I'd probably even say he was on the same level as the likes of Ronaldo, Messi, and all that at that time.
Yeah.
He hasn't had a season like that since. He is still Liverpool's main man, but I don't think he's anywhere near. I'd say if we say his pinnacle was 10, he's idled at 8s and 7s for most of his career at Liverpool. I think he's good. I don't think he's what the Liverpool fans think.
So you're overrated.
Slightly overrated.
And you're...
I think he's overrated in the sense...
Overrated.
I'm not saying he's...
So I'll tell you where this goes now. Somebody come on the radio, not a Liverpool fan, and goes, Mo Salah's one of the most underrated Premier League footballers going.
Oh, Jesus. Really?
And he's literally going on about the fact that he doesn't get the respect he deserves and all that sort of thing, and thinks that people don't rate him as a striker, as a winger. And I listened to it and went, how is Mo Salah even remotely underrated? Because there's nobody who watches football that thinks that he's not one of the best. He's done a fantastic job for Liverpool, one of their best players, and he's borderline where you touch upon when you talk about players that are world class. You're probably putting him. He's very close.
In that one season, he was.
He was.
Oh yeah, he was outstanding.
And I think they say he's underrated because he's never talked about for Ballon d'Or. That was the thing.
But he's not. Maybe that one season. He was possibly in the mix.
That was his thing, that he should be up for Ballon d'Or for what he does, he's not.
Look at the last 15 years of the Ballon d'Or.
I know.
Like, nobody stood a chance. It doesn't matter how well they played. Nobody's going to win it. Haaland should have won it at least twice by now.
Yeah.
Because of the goals he scored. Like, yes, okay, last week I said he was overrated, and I still stand by that. Yeah. But the amount of goals he scored, even though they're not against the best defenders in the world, he still scores 50 goals a season.
Okay.
But,
Are you telling me that's not Ballon d'Or material?
I just thought as soon as that
Messi and Ronaldo
comment came in.
I thought your stat for this week was going to be Ronaldo's hit 900 goals.
Yeah.
No. Like, genuinely, I thought
I've actually just brought up Mo Salah's seasons for Liverpool. And the season I was referring to was his first season at Liverpool. He played 52 games, scored 44 goals with 14 assists.
Immense.
Unreal.
Immense.
Now that season, wow. However, the second season saw a significant drop-off. Played the same amount of games. 27 goals, 10 assists.
Still decent.
Oh, no, I'm not saying by any winger's account this is brilliant. But we've got to remember he is the main goal scoring threat for Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because Darwin Núñez fucking certainly isn't.
God, Couldn't agree more. We were
Right.
linked with
So
it.
Well, he
anyway,
doesn't even start now. That's obviously
but-
where he's rated.
But this is so the season after he played 4 games less, 48 games, 23 goals, 13 assists. 2020 to 2021, he played 51 games, and he hit. This is the first of 31 goals per season. Very, very respectable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very good.
6
very good.
assists the next season, same amount of games, 31 goals, 15 assists. Very respectable. Then the year after, 30. Last year he dropped off to 25 and 13, but he played significantly less games in 44.
Yeah, he was injured, wasn't he,
Yeah.
for a lot.
And this season he's 3 for 3 and 3. Straight
He started
threes.
very well this
He
season.
started
Yeah,
extremely
really
well.
well this
If he
season.
continues on, we can start having that conversation again. But I think the point remains, he had one season where he was 44 goals.
Yeah,
That
is
is-
outstanding.
That is world class. That is
yeah.
where you start going, damn, this guy's good. This is where we're talking about Haaland territory. 27-23, he dropped off. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, he dropped off. That's
We
during
all said he
COVID.
was done. We all said he was done
Yeah,
last
we thought
season.
it was,
Yeah.
We and I'd say right now,
The
probably
in-
wrong.
He's
However,
looking decent
the
now.
interesting thing is his average performance ratings. If you're world class, that season that I'm referring to was a 7.8. Let me go straight down to 7.2. 7.4, 7.3, 7.6, 7.5, 7.5. He never beats 8.0 for a season.
Yeah.
Depends who's rating.
Now-
I suppose.
But what I mean is,
I think what we need to do is we need to go for break,
okay,
Yeah.
and then we shall come back in part 3, and talk a little bit more. But we've
Yeah.
been going now for 44 minutes. So yeah,
Jolly
we're
good.
going to go to break, and we shall see you beautiful people very soon. Hello and welcome back from the break. We are in part 3, and as we do these days, we start part 3 with our accountability.
Yeah.
Now we've just done this, haven't we? So
Yeah.
I'm going to go into this, separate it now to make it easy for me to do. So I've got 2 separate books now. So we'll start with me this week, I think. I started with you last time, so start with me this week. So started at 16 stone 2 5 weeks ago. It's a lot. Belly at 45. My waist was 44. I haven't written it down, but it was 44. Right, so now we're on week 5. I am 16 stone flat. Not flat, obviously, because there's nothing flat about it. 16 stone flat. My belly is now 42 inches, and my waist is 42 inches. So I am losing a little bit of girth, but not much actual weight.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because I do a lot of weightlifting in here to help burn calories,
Yeah.
rather than what I probably should be doing. I'm looking for a Sunday league side so I can just go training with them at the minute during the week. I don't want to play on a Sunday.
Yeah.
I just want to train with them. So I'll let you know how that goes. And everyone listening now, I've just said it on the pod. It wasn't intentional. So yeah, go to JimJam, who was 16 stone 9 when we started 5 weeks ago. And he's now... Okay, I missed one there. So you're now 16.2.
16-3. Wasn't it?
You said 16.2 to me, didn't you?
I swear I said 16-3.
If
Definitely
it is
16-3.
If it is 16.3, then I've just learned something.
Yeah.
And you've gone from 45 inches on the belly to 46. That's not a good thing.
It doesn't help the fact that I've been and had a big, massive carvery today and completely
really
stuffed my
wouldn't
face.
help at all.
So, although my weight was done before the carvery,
Yeah, you probably
my belly
now then.
after.
But yeah. So and your waist is 40 and a half, so that's gone
Yeah.
down 1.5 inches. So that's not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we both go under the umbrella of must do better.
I don't know. I've
If I'm
eaten
honest.
really well this week, so I know in my head I'm doing better. But the
still could
stats
do better.
aren't.
I've been out. I'm
Mm.
not going to say what it is, just in case it's absolute rubbish. I was going to say something worse then, in case it's absolute rubbish. But I've bought an aid to help me lose weight this week.
Oh, yeah.
And if it works, and if I feel like it's worked, then I will say what it was. But I won't say, just in case it's a complete placebo and does absolutely nothing, and then someone goes out and buys it and goes, yeah, it's your fault because you said you were using it. So I have bought something that's meant to help, and I will let you guys know if it does help and if I do find it easier this week. But yeah, I'm hoping to do a bit more cardio and stuff this week, maybe a bit of running or whatever. And I was hoping to do that when Daisy went back to school, and then my hours at work went 14 hours, 13 hours, 13 and a half hours, and 14 hours. So running was out of the question by the time you've done that.
Well, the
hours.
advantage next week is we're going to do some serious walking this week.
Yes, I am only at work on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. Tin Ribs?
What?
It's like he doesn't even pay attention to the
I'm
conversation.
only working Monday, Tuesday,
JimJam,
Wednesday.
You're only working Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week because we have a charity golf day that we do every year. I'm sure we talked about it last year on the pod, actually, because I'm sure
I think we did.
doing it
around
just after the charity day.
I'm working 3 nights.
So you're working 3 shifts.
Yeah.
I was going to say 3 days, but he specifically said nights. So he's working 3 shifts. You're working 3 shifts, and I'm working 3 shifts.
Yeah.
So come the golf on Thursday, I'm going to be absolutely
So we've
dying
got
up my ass.
our charity golf day on the Friday next week, which is a very hilly course. It's very up and down, and it's hard going.
Down? When do you go down?
I'm fat, I roll.
No, I mean, I don't remember many downs.
I go in bunkers. They all go down.
It's the only course where you go downhill for once in a blue moon, but of course the hole still finishes going back uphill again.
Yeah, it's a bit mad, isn't it?
It's an evil course.
It's Litchfield Golf. No, not Litchfield.
It's not.
Road.
It's Uttoxeter
Golf Course. So Uttoxeter Golf Course, very hilly. Quite a challenge. Enjoyable though. I quite like the course. So in preparation to that, what I've said to the other 2 guys who've never been there, I've said we're going to try the Manor. Now, for anyone
which is also in Uttoxeter.
It's also in Uttoxeter. So for them that do know the Manor in Uttoxeter, will know that the reason I've specifically chosen that golf course.
It's all bloody uphill, isn't it?
Ridiculously hilly.
Oh, for God's sake.
No, there are some downhill bits. Oh boy, there are some downhill bits, but they are down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking 30 yards down. I mean, they are. It's rough going up, but it's rough going down as well. There's no easy bit on that golf course.
Is it like it goes up like steadily, but down?
No, it's like a course of V shapes.
Yeah,
it's pretty rough. So I figured we'd try that one to prepare us for the Friday.
Yeah, great.
When we go back to the charity.
When we're all tired on the Friday.
We'll all be absolutely exhausted from the Manor on the Thursday. But
feet aching.
Tough. That's what it's all about, and that's what me and Jim in particular need. Bit more cardio, bit more exercise, and golf is a great way to get that in. And
a lot of walking.
Football is very heavily linked towards golf. So
and we'll be playing football on a Friday night as well.
Yes, we'll be playing football on a Friday night. I'll be in a lot of pain, but
yeah,
I will severely struggle at that point, but I'm still going to be there. As well as trying to find a Sunday League team to train with this week. I'm not sure whether that will happen or not. We'll find out. So yeah, have we got any more that we would like to talk about?
I'll quickly go into one just before. I know Tim's got one.
Has got more to say.
So I did say in the last part. Oh, that brings us nicely into something when we mentioned Leicester. So this week Leicester have won their appeal against their points deduction.
They have.
I'm like, wow.
Thoughts?
It's not really fair in the way that the clubs are doing. It looks like it's one rule for another. It looks like another city is getting away with stuff.
That's what I said when Tom was here, wasn't it? I said, your city, you support Stoke, you should be spending.
They've used the loophole that they tried to use of, we weren't in the Premier League, so we don't need to abide by their rules. And then the Championship went, right, so you have to abide by our rules then. But we were in the Premier League when you start your book, so we don't account for that. So they sort of found that loophole, and the people in the independent thing went, yeah, they're right. So they've got away with it. And it's disgusting.
They're basically...
It's absolutely disgusting.
Both leagues, I think, pretty much have the same rules.
No. So the Premier League
slightly different.
Is from one point to another. But the Championship is like half season. So it's halfway through the season. So when the Championship one starts, they were in the Premier League. When the Premier League one starts, they were in the Championship.
It's
just a farce.
It's an absolute joke.
Oh,
It's an absolute fucking
It's a
joke.
joke.
The
I
fact
mean,
they've got away with this, an absolute
most
joke.
of it is a joke, to be honest. Most of this financial fair play is ridiculous. And
So
it should
that
be
now
just
makes me
scrapped at this
want
point.
Leicester to get relegated.
Yeah.
I would like to see this season. I would like to see Leicester go down because I don't like the financial thing. Only because I think it should be fair for everybody. I don't have a particular gripe against Leicester, but they've got away with something I don't feel they should have got away with. So Leicester, I'd like to see Leicester go down. I'd like to see Everton go down. And unfortunately, the other team the other two teams I want to get relegated are probably never going to get relegated in their history. So
Liverpool
that being one.
And Man United, Tottenham.
So
Would you want to lose that derby?
Yes, quite happily, just for a season.
Just for a season.
He's a London club. He's got 42 fucking derbies.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'd like Leeds to go up because I'd like to all be in the league, same league next year.
I kind of like him being beneath us, to be honest. No, I'm only joking. I would like to see Leeds back in the Premier League. I'd like to see all three of us in the Premier League. I think you guys are going to struggle if you don't pick up soon, though.
Although it might be, the way things are going, it might be easier if you get relegated. Might be the easier way for us to all join the same league.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'd rather we didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of against that idea.
You're
personally.
against that one.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I like the Championship, don't get me wrong.
But you don't want to be a part of it.
But we're a Premier League team, and I think we would struggle in the Championship. I'm not going to lie. I think we struggle playing all the games.
But yeah. So yeah, I wasn't very happy that Leicester have got away with it.
Oh no, I can imagine.
So, and it's just one big, huge calamity on all accounts.
It doesn't look good for the Premier League or the Championship, if I'm honest.
It seems a lot to do with a certain word, consistency.
Well, there's none of that anywhere in the football pyramid, is there?
It's like you just pick points. So it's like, okay, we'll do Everton
So, you know,
for 8,
you know
but
things you
reduce
had
it
as a
to
kid
4.
when you were in the playground? You pick a number, pick a colour.
Yeah.
I'm sure they do that in the FA, you know. They go, pick blue. Blue. Pick
Get
a
away
number,
with it.
7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, no fine. Yeah, they're free and ready to go. And then they do it again. But Everton, red. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Or 10-point deduction. Love that.
Where there's teams that are blatantly abiding by the rules to like
Yeah.
try survive.
You're right. And it's so bad.
Like you think that the money that Leeds have took in versus what they've spent, they're really trying to balance it out.
Are
You'd
you like
think.
going for like in like? I get the impression because you've brought in a lot of money this year.
More than any other European club.
So if you get promoted at the end of the season, right?
Yeah.
And you get that massive payout from going
Yeah.
up, Leeds can spend an absolute
Should
fortune
do.
No,
when they go
we
into
can.
the Premier League.
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, whether you will or not is another matter. But they should
I
be
don't know.
able to
See,
go up.
49ers and Red Bull.
And they should be able to go up and
they
spend
won't.
an absolute arm and a leg if you get promoted. I mean, it's a
If.
risk because if you don't, that's a risk because you've lost a good team and not really replace them. But if you do go up this season, you look like you disagree with me there. Do you think
I
you
think some
replace
of the
like
players
for
we
like?
bought in may shock.
Yeah, I hope so.
He's going
I
to turn
genuinely
around
hope
and
so.
go, we bought them for this amount and we're going to sell them for...
That Tanaka, I
X
think we've
amount.
had their fucking pants down. I know they were running financial issues, but we bought him for like 3.2, and he looks fantastic. I think we've had their pants down. I genuinely do. So he could be another Anonto.
I mean,
He
I
could be
hadn't
another
heard
Somerville.
of him.
He's a Japanese international. He scored against Spain in the World Cup. I'd never heard of him, but I'd heard of him because we've been linked with him for a while. But it's like he's one of these players that no one's. Rafinha was the same. No one had heard of him. And
Yeah,
look at
true.
him.
Yeah.
You do get these players, but we've bought in a few players.
But we hadn't
who
heard
got
of...
on
Brighton- Brighton
I hadn't
do it all
heard
the
of
time.
Somerville. I hadn't heard of Rutter.
Brighton do it all the time.
Yeah, Brighton do it all
I
the
mean,
time.
it's there to be done. The
Yeah.
players are there.
I'm not going to lie.
And
Solomon.
Chelsea going out and spending 40 million on a player they can't have for 2 years because he's Brazilian.
Yeah. Solomon looks better than Somerville.
I don't think he's been a bad signing for you all.
I think he's a fantastic
he was
signing.
sort of frozen out at Tottenham, wasn't
But he looked so
but he's
good on
come
the ball.
to Leeds, and
Yeah.
I mean, I think he'll want to stay the way it's going.
The main
He's
thing
getting
is
football, and you're playing
consistency. Is he going to be consistent?
well. If he's like the officials, no.
But yeah, I'm unsure because we brought in some very interesting signings. So have we? I don't know. We'll have to see. But from what I've seen of the new players, even though we're only on for like a few seconds, like a few minutes, I think 12 minutes at most. What they showed looked really good. Now keep in mind, Tanaka hadn't even done a proper train. He'd done one training session. They brought him off the bench, and he looked absolutely boss.
You want them to put effort in there, don't you? That's like minimum required.
Oh yeah,
requirement is maximum.
but they all wanted
effort,
it. They all came on, and they wanted it. It wasn't a case of we're coming on to get minutes. They came on, and they went for it. I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to the Burnley game. I'm really looking forward to the Burnley game.
That should be a good game, actually.
Should be.
Yeah.
But where we thought, but Burnley aren't looking as strong as they were. They looked good the first 3 games, was it? They looked great.
They were brilliant.
And then I've destroyed by Sunderland. You know, Blackburn gave them a good go.
Blackburn looks so good this season.
They do look better this season.
They've been
Daryl will be pleased.
They've been so shrewd in the transfer market, and they look really good. I reckon playoffs minimum.
Oh, you reckon they're in with a shout this season?
Yeah, they look so good. I've actually watched 3 of their games, and they look really good.
Like I said, but I watched that game rather than the Arsenal-Brighton game, so, you know, because I had to.
They look really decent. And like I say, they've made some really shrewd signings.
I don't have TNT Sports, so I couldn't watch.
Maybe you had to.
Yeah.
Arms for the poor, sir.
See, the big debate is that obviously this weekend Southampton are playing Man United, and that's going to be on TNT Sports. Now, it depends. Do I want to put my hand in my pocket at £30 a month? Because I even rang Sky and was like, "Can you do me a deal?" And it was like, "Nope, we've got no offers on at the moment." And I'm like, I'm very reluctant to pay it. So I might end up watching the Leeds game.
You want to
this weekend
and say, "Can you do me a deal?" And when they go, "No," go, "That's fine. I'll just leave them."
I'm under contract for a little bit at the moment, so I've got till February.
I guarantee they'll still give you a deal. If you go off time, I'll just leave them. I'll pay £10 a week to clear the contract, and I'll just leave and go somewhere else, and they'll give me a deal. That's
how I've got a good deal at the moment. I'm on everything else at the moment.
I'll definitely go for that. But I'm just looking forward to not having international football to watch, because I'm just not excited by it at all.
So going on international, we can use the word world again. So obviously during the break I did a quick little small bit of research.
Analogy.
Very small bit. It wasn't
ever.
I didn't really go too far into it. But we were discussing whether Salah is world class.
We were.
Now, for me, world class, again, as we pointed out before, I think it's a word branded around very much, too much. Oh, he's world class because he played. No. World class is the elite few. So we went on the whole performances of average per season. And bar the one season.
He's on about the ratings.
Yeah, the ratings, percent, the score. Now, bar the one season, his average was 7.3.
Yeah.
Okay. So I went on to look at a few players just to see how they. So if we say that Salah's one season, which it was 7.8, but the rest was lower.
Yeah.
I went through a few players. Now I started with Messi because Messi's quite an easy one to.
Yeah, pick. I mean I've looked at a few as well because I was intrigued.
In the last couple of years, since 2016. Messi's lowest score was 7.9, and that was his first season at Paris Saint-Germain. His first season at Inter Miami was 8. Now, I'm going to ignore the 8.5 for Inter Miami and the 8 for Inter. However, at Barcelona, now these only go back as 2016, so earlier than that, there's no scores. 8.4, 8.4, 8.5, 8.3, 8.4. That's world class. And I think we can honestly say that's world class.
Okay.
So we got Messi.
As much as we probably say that he doesn't deserve a couple of his Ballon d'Ors that he's
He is a great
done,
player.
we're not going to deny that he's one of the greatest players that will have ever played in our lifetime.
We've been so spoiled with Ronaldo and Messi that we've become numb to how good they actually are.
So, obviously, with that, I went to Ronaldo.
Naturally.
Real Madrid, 8.6, 7.9, 8.2. Juventus, 7.9, 8.0, 7.9. His last season, he played one game. Juve. He played one game for Juve at 6.7. So I'm just going to ignore that. Then he came to play for Manchester United.
Yeah.
In his first season at United, he got a 7.5 rating.
And they were awful.
And then he got a 7 for his half season before he went to Al Nassr. Now, if you want to know the stats for those 2 seasons that he's been there, he had a 7.7 and an 8.1.
Yeah.
But what we're seeing here again is 8s and tippity top 7s.
Yeah.
World class, I would agree.
Yeah.
Tippity top 7s.
Yeah. So Salah hasn't touched that. So then I thought, who next? And Stretch went, what about Lewandowski?
He's
very
there,
good.
Especially for them few
So,
seasons. The year he should have won a Ballon d'Or, but
Well,
it was cancelled for
was that
COVID.
the COVID one. Oh,
Yeah.
You like the score on that year. So, leading up to COVID, we had 7.6, 7.5, 7.6. COVID, 8.2. Very good shout for it.
Yeah.
But after that, he then goes 8.1, 8, and then he drops off to a 7.6, 7.4, and 8.2.
It's still better than Salah's, though, isn't it?
It's better than Salah.
You want to look at
So, would we say he's world class? I'd say so. Another player who's been banded around as world class lately.
Is it your favourite player?
What, Rodri?
No.
Oh.
I'm joking by you.
No, my favourite players will come into this in a bit.
No, I was going with the Mbappe.
Yeah. No, they're coming into it. Don't worry, they're coming into it. Rodri. Villarreal 2016, 7-1, 7-2. Atletico, 7-2. Man City, 7-1, 7-4. Now, this was before Rodri was... People have only been talking about Rodri for the last, 4 years?
Probably.
Yeah.
So let's go into the last 4 years. Well, 3 years, sorry. 7-9, 7-7, 8-1. He's only just started being the player that people notice. Before that, he wasn't. Now we can say he's world class because in the last 3 years, he's been 7-9, 7-7, 7-8, and 8-1. Well, that's far more consistent than Salah.
Yeah.
I would say he's world class for the position that he plays.
Yeah,
I mean, it's easy to look
but
back
and you
when
can't
you're
compare
playing with
Rodri
teams like
to
you can't.
Messi and Ronaldo
You can't.
because 2 different positions.
No, they are, but the ratings are still ratings.
They
that.
are.
I mean, you can definitely label Salah against Ronaldo.
Ronaldo, Messi.
It's very similar.
Because the thing is, Messi gets a rating of 8 as soon as he scores. He could do nothing all game because the media love him.
He's on 7.8 just for tying his laces, isn't he?
Yeah.
So let's go to 2 of my favourite players. Neymar. His only season on here that's at Barcelona, 8.4. PSG, first season, 8.9. 8.4.
That's his diving range.
8.3.
8.9.
7.7. 7.8. 8.
Still
Now
better.
I think
Here's my
that
argument.
Messi,
It is the Farmers
Neymar
League.
probably
It is the Farmers League.
borderline world class. He is phenomenal.
You know
at
what?
what
If he
he
stopped
does.
diving, I'd love him. But his
Yeah.
diving
He needs to stop,
drives me
yeah.
mental. I can't stand his
I
diving.
would agree. He needs to stay on his feet a bit more.
So,
A lot more.
last one, my personal favourite. Monaco.
That'll be Mbappe for them that don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Kylian Mbappe.
So at Monaco, 7.5, 7.6. Then his first season at Paris Saint-Germain, 7.6. In 2018, he hit his first 8.1. Then he went back down to 7.9, 7.9, 8.2, 7.9, 8.
Just still all better than Salah.
All better than Salah. Now, my only defence for Salah here is Neymar and Mbappe have
Are
got
in the
all their
Farmers League,
highest
yeah.
scores whilst in the Farmers League of France. Mbappe at Monaco, was about the same as Salah.
Yeah.
Whereas Neymar at Barcelona was an 8.4.
Yeah, it's pretty good. isn't it?
That's a note to take. So Neymar was playing these world-class stats at Barcelona, whereas Mbappe was playing high-end average.
I mean, there's another player you need to look up that you didn't look up. So,
Mate,
I
this
mean,
is
I can. I mean, because
you do that while I'm
Neymar played with Messi, obviously, that year where
Yeah.
he's getting them phenomenal stats. And obviously, the other player that just came to my mind, is he world class? I'm hoping he's on here. Luis Suarez.
Oh, yeah? I should have thought about him too.
I mean, he's 7-7, 7-6, 7-5, 7-5, 7-3. Then he has a couple bad years in the sevens, and then he's gone to 7-6, 7-7. But like you say, he's gone to the MLS now.
Those numbers are on par with Salah.
Yeah.
And he's a great striker.
He's a great striker.
But when he's not on
I mean, that was one of the best strike forces going, wasn't it? Neymar,
Yeah.
Messi, Suarez.
it wasn't bad, was it?
It wasn't bad at
It was a pretty
all.
good strike force.
But I think that
He's
puts
in
into
the
the...
Tibidy top sevens.
No, but my point is... and where I'm going... You love that one. I don't think he's underrated. I think everyone knows where he's at. He is one of the greats, but he's not world class.
No.
All
I
these
just
people-
thought it was ridiculous that somebody
to say
would
he's
come out and
underrated
he's
is absolutely
underrated.
ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, it's insanity. but
He's
then-
not in the league of the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, Suarez,
There
Lewandowski.
must just be
He's
something
not in
about
that league.
Liverpool that messes people's heads.
We're all
up.
going to say he's a very, very good player.
Oh, he's a very good player.
He's very talented,
Yeah.
without a shadow of a doubt.
All right,
Very
here's
talented.
a question someone posed to me the other day, and this will be quite relevant. Who would you take? Hazard in his prime,
Yeah,
Salah in his prime,
yeah.
or Gareth Bale in his
Bale.
prime?
Bale.
So there you go. But you never hear anyone go, "Oh, Bale's underrated."
Bale, without a shadow.
You're
going
gonna take Bale? Salah is not in the conversation of world class. I'm sorry. He's not in that conversation.
Sorry, I don't care.
No, but there are people out there who will disagree.
Of course there is, yeah.
But
And
for
they're
me,
the people that
fans-
think he's underrated. The
But he's
fact that
not.
he's not in that conversation.
he's not, though.
Yeah, but he's just explained why. Which
Exactly.
is fair enough. I mean, you've put
When
up
you-
a decent argument. As
When
to
you
why
take the
he's not.
players that we are arguing are some of the best players of all time, the world-class players, he's not in the same league.
arguing, I'm not arguing.
No.
No, I know you're not. I'm just putting it out there. And that's why I stand on the position. Yes, he's very good.
Mm.
And I think he would get into any Premier League club. And when I say any, I literally mean any. But he's not
Yeah.
world class.
We are gonna
I think there's very few world-class players.
There are. There's so few.
before I
When you
actually say this, I am
realistically
gonna clarify
think
that it is all going to be legal and above board, right? But we are going to have a full part coming up shortly where we are going to expose ourselves. It's going to be legal and above board. We're going to have a section called "What Hill Are You Willing to Die On?" Right.
Okay.
So yours would be Salah's not world class. That would be a hill that you're willing to die on, for example.
Yeah.
So we're gonna list a load of things that like I'm willing to die on this hill, and it's sort of opinions you've got that you think are just gonna get battered by other people, but they're strong opinions that you hold. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean?
And how long have we got to prep for this?
We'll do it in a few weeks,
Okay, so.
Are you
Yeah.
talking like next international break or something?
possibly,
Oh,
because
God,
that's
yeah,
going to be
give
a
us
bit
something
dull.
to
Because I
talk
bet
about.
you that's not far away.
It's November, isn't it?
I think so.
End of November, middle of
Yeah.
November, somewhere around there, isn't
Give
it?
me a second.
So, right, okay, next international break, we're going to do a full section, probably part 3. We'll do our
Yeah.
accountability. As soon as we've done accountability, we'll have 20 minutes of what hill are you willing to die on. And expect the whole fucking
So-
Mbappe and
It's actually sooner than you think. So we play Finland on the 10th of September.
Please.
We then play Greece on the 10th of October. It's not
So-
even a month.
God in heaven.
Told you.
Good
That's just so...
And then, oh my... Right, so...
I was right, though. I said a few weeks
It's
ago.
then... You were right, there is some in November. So you've got the 10th and 13th of October. 14th and 17th. No,
It's every month.
Christ.
It's boring though, isn't it?
I hate this shit.
I don't want to. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if the FA had come out and gone, do you know what? We've done the Southgate. I'm not even a drinker. I've got no excuse for this.
Are you
shit
sure?
at all. We've done the Gareth Southgate thing. Didn't quite work to where we wanted it to. We made up a really bad error a few years ago. We're going to give Sam Allardyce another go. I would watch every England game from now till eternity if Big Sam was in charge. I genuinely think he'd be an amazing England manager. But it's not going to happen, and we're currently stuck with Lee Carsley. And I don't even think they've got the balls to then go for Eddie Howe, which is, let's face it, what they need to do.
I don't think they can go for Eddie Howe.
They could. There's nothing stopping. You realise that England and the FA are not under FFP.
Oh, no.
You're aware that's not a thing, right? They could just go
know.
out and do what they wanted. And the FA and England are rolling in it. They're not short of money.
The FA aren't bothered. They just want somebody that's going to go,
They want a yes man. Yeah. Which is exactly why they've got Carsley in charge. This is not what's going to make the country proud. This is not what is going to make the country stand behind their manager. Yes, we all back Southgate to begin with. But he did well against poor teams, poor countries. And then as soon as we hit Croatia, I reckon a third of this country went, he's not right. We need to get rid. And then you spent 6 years then with him in charge.
You know, as bad as it sounds,
slowly more
this
and more
is the
and more
worst thing.
going,
I would, right now, I'd rather have Jurgen Klopp than Lee Carsley. Because I think potentially they could actually win something.
just turn the lights out.
And that would be one of the worst scenarios
Turn the power
ever.
off.
I know.
You'd
But-
rather have a German in charge of England than Lee Carsley. Now, I am
Right,
in no
no.
way saying that Klopp is a bad manager. As much as I think he is a massive bellend, I'm not saying he's a bad manager. But you would rather have a German in charge of England. I honestly, I'd rather never have a manager for England again than have a German in charge.
I suppose that would probably be a little bit OTT there. I think I went OTT.
I think that's a hill you need to step off fast.
Okay, shall I say Pep instead?
Okay, yeah, I can sort of get behind. I still wouldn't want him because he's foreign, but
Yeah.
I can get behind.
Okay,
the
I'd rather have
theory behind
Pep
that one. There we
Then
go.
I'll go throw
corrected.
it out there, then. I just want to see his face. Bielsa.
No, it's not English.
I was actually waiting for the more because he's Argentinian. I was just.
He's not English. I mean, it would be severely depressing to have an Argentinian or a German.
But look what he's done with the Uruguay
Yeah.
squad. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
it'd be horrific.
Look what
Yeah.
he's done to the Uruguay squad.
Oh, that's fine. Let him go do it to Uruguay. He's not going to do it to England. Fuck him. I don't want a foreigner in charge of England. You have to be English to play.
Yeah.
As much as Rice and Grealish disagree. And so did Owen Hargreaves. He was born in Canada, wasn't he?
Something like that.
Eric Dyer, he was born in Portugal. Ridiculous. So, yeah, you have to be English to play for England. Why don't you have to be English to manage England?
I'm all for. I want the English manager. I want him to sing the national
I want
anthem.
Eddie
I
Howe.
want him.
Failing that, I want... You know, I did say a couple of weeks ago, which I have backtracked on.
This is Sean Dyche.
I
no.
did say Sean Dyche a few weeks ago, and I've rapidly started backtracking on that.
Yeah.
Because
He's shit!
he's not quite what I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I think you're the only one on the Sean Dyche train.
I'm fairly certain I was the only one on his train. It's now empty. And at the bottom of a canal.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean,
done.
I've been
But
off
Eddie
his...
Howe would be number one.
I've been so anti-Sean Dyche for that long that when Leeds went in, we're looking for a manager and everyone's going, oh, we need Sean Dyche. I was like, fucking don't.
Do you know what I'd take right now? Warnock.
I love Warnock. Just for the interviews, I love Warnock. Do you know who should be his assistant? Ian Wright. Go
Oh.
out for the interviews. You do the interviews, Ian, and let Neil deal with the squad. Man,
I thought you were going to say Ian Holloway.
Oh,
I'd absolutely love him to be in charge of England, you know.
Yeah.
Just for a few games.
Holloway,
Carsley's
Warnock.
Holloway's a better manager than Lee Carsley.
Yeah.
And that's a hill I'll die on.
and says Warnock. They're all proven.
Definitely. But their interviews would be golden.
Oh.
You'd never get
Yeah.
Holloway because he's too far out there, I think, for the FA to ever even consider him. Because of that one comment he made about Ronaldo, wasn't it? It's like, the only thing that I'd accept about Ronaldo is I found out he was hung like a hamster. But then again, I've got a hamster at home and his cock's massive. I can't believe you've just said that on telly. Can you imagine that on the world stage? On
It'd be
World
great.
Cup final and he comes out with something like that, everyone will be going, oh my God.
He is absolutely
I
I
sensational.
wonder
Back
how
up
many
once we get
episodes we'll be moaning about Carsley for.
It depends how many years he's in
Yeah.
charge for, doesn't it?
How many weeks is he going to be in charge?
Well, we've just spent 45 weeks 44 weeks moaning about
Southgate.
Southgate.
Yeah.
Then we had a week where we weren't sure, and now we've got Lee Carsley, and we're already moaning about him on week 1.
Does he worry of the fact that he's probably going to win all his Nation League games? The fact that I could probably go out and manage England and win the Nations League games.
I think it's
At
the
this
fact that
level
he's
right
currently
now.
winning them poorly, which is not going to help him. Because, I'm sorry, but the result I give Zach this morning, or yesterday morning, I said we should be beating them 5-0. That, for me, would be an acceptable result. Because Ireland, like it or not, are a poor side in comparison to what we've got. We've got all these world-class players to choose from, so I keep getting fucking told.
We've already established that probably not a single player in the England team is world class right now.
Bellingham's last rating was 8.0. That was the last season.
I mean,
I think that
I would have him,
Bellingham
but with him
and
being injured, he
his
wasn't
two for
available.
Dortmund were high 7s. So he's obviously on. He's on the rise.
borderline.
He's got to hold on to it though. He's got to hold on to it.
And he's only young, so
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he stays where he is for a couple
But
of
what I
years...
mean is he could fade off. He could fade.
He could. He could get tired. I got my 5-year-old now staring through the window at us, who was put in bed like an hour ago,
Oh, shit.
and she's just staring at the window. Should we let her in just for the last minute?
Yeah.
Because we've literally only got a minute left, so we'll let her in for the last 60 seconds.
You're in trouble.
Hello, Daisy. Are you going to say hello to everybody because we are recording? Do you want to say hello?
Sam, say hello.
Say hello.
She's got shy. She's been going on about it.
Huh?
Just a bit tired, Dad.
A bit tired. I'm not surprised because it's past your bedtime. Do you want to say hello to everybody?
Yeah, and I'm hungry.
Always hungry. Say hello.
Hello.
It's definitely not time to eat.
No.
It's definitely not time to eat. That is my 5-year-old Daisy.
Why is there strips there?
Tin Ribs was hungry when he got
I know my wife's messaged me going that my son's an ass, so I'm guessing he's been a pain, and he's 5, so...
Yeah,
Well-
we all have a 5-year-old. We did
and
go
I
through
sent
that a
mine
couple of
home
weeks ago, didn't we?
screaming in the back of the car. It was
He didn't
hilarious.
want to
Well, I said mine was in hospital
we-
the other day because he stuck a lid up his nose.
go. Yeah,
And
we
got
got
it
that
stuck.
picture. You could see it. It was in this one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The left
A lid
nostril.
up his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did he do that?
No, it's why did he do that is what
I
you
think
should be
why
asking.
did he
We
do
know
that
how he
is
did
a
it.
More important question. We know Caelan wasn't happy because myself and Daisy went down to Tin Ribs this morning and spent a few hours with him. Didn't we? We played with Caelan. Hey? Yeah.
Look how late it is.
I know, yeah, you should be in bed, darling.
I just
Right, I think what we'll do then is we are going to wrap up the podcast. So
Indeed.
sorry for the interruption, but Daisy's wanted to be recorded
Yep.
for ages, so at least she's she can say
She's
Tick
made a
that
dream.
tick that life dream box off.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Dream complete.
one on the bucket list ticked off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so yeah, thank you very much for listening to us. We really appreciate it, even though we just talk absolute rubbish. And we will be back in your ear holes next week.